Hey everybody, Jim Malone here, coming to you live on Dallas Trading Floor. It's Thursday. The market is selling off. I got off of a bunch of stuff. Have a kind of a treat for you today. I did. There's I'm going to show you a bull a bull put spread that I did on a company called Cleveland Cliffs. As you know, there's been some movement into some of the infrastructure plays, and it looks as if this one may work out. And I'll show you that in just a sec here. But I just kind of wanted to run down some of the things that are going on right now in the market, and kind of how we're doing in terms of that. So without further ado, let's take a look at the market direction. Basically, with the market, we are moving down. We are below that very critical 14,000 level on the Nasdaq. We're also off on the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones, and the volume is down though, so that is essentially a good thing. We're still in a confirmed uptrend, but it does look like the market is getting a little bit shaky, and we may need to, possibly move to, more of a defensive position. I definitely sold some of my positions today. I'm pretty much all in cash. Again, the only thing I'm really looking at is this rotation play into Cleveland Cliffs that I'll show you in just a second. But, it definitely looks like we are moving, a little bit down because, Tesla is testing. So is Apple. Wells Fargo's up a little bit, but GameStop just took it in the shorts. No surprise there. It's just one of those things you got to be really careful about when you play those climax tops. They can be very, 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 very difficult. Just kind of wanted to show you a very interesting chart. This is about margin debt. Typically, when we see a change in the market, when it gets over exuberant, the margin debt moves up, and as you can see, it's been moving up since at the beginning of the year. We were basically pretty low here on the margin debt, well below the level, and it's been moving up steadily. It's currently at quite a high level, over 30%. This is a level at which that we start to see a change in the market. So I am kind of expecting a correction here, though we're not there yet. But I definitely think we could have at least a 10% correction based on this indicator. This is basically margin debt, and as people get more exuberant, many times what'll happen is they will put on more and more margin debt, and eventually, unfortunately, that gets ahead of everybody, and the market corrects. So that's kind of what I'm seeing. If you'll notice, in at the beginning of at the beginning of last year, remember that pull down that we had in January? That's what it was. So and it peaked up and then it pulled down. So this one could be this would actually be more severe because there's quite a bit of margin debt out there. And I do think that, that may show a top in the market. Just kind of wanted to show you what my current holdings were. I only have two things right now. It's amazing. As you probably well know, I went into the GBTC. This is a Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, and it's off a little bit today, but I'm confident that with Tesla accepting it as currency and with a lot of other people going into it, I think it will probably continue to move up. It's about 52,000 currently. The GBTC holds about 4% of the world's Bitcoin. Also, I just initiated a position in 5.9. It's moved up quite nicely today, about 1.61%, which is especially gratifying because it is bucking the market trend. So that's always typically a good thing when that happens. That's all I've got really. Everything else is in cash. So it's it's kind of a strange thing. Now I kind of wanted to show you an interesting thing that I'm doing with Cleveland Cliffs, and basically what this is Cleveland Cliffs is a company that makes steel pellets. It's not a very exciting business, but there has been a very, very strong demand for steel, especially steel pellets, and this is what is used by the foundries they reheat this and then they make it and extrude it and for other things. So Cleveland Cliffs seems to be doing quite well. It's going to be having earnings in about 7 days, and the idea between on this bull, it's actually a bull put spread. I apologize, didn't put that in there right. Is basically what's going to happen is if the price on Cleveland Cliffs stays above about 1690, as you can see, this is the profit chart. This is based on 10 contracts. And as you can see, as it gets, hopefully, if it moves higher, as it gets closer to the expiration, the potential on this is the potential payout on this is about 590. Just kind of show you very quickly what the risk category is. Here's how it works. Basically, the entry cost, it says 590 net credit. When you do this, at least I did this a few minutes ago, I actually received a net of $590. This is based on 10 contracts, 59 per contract on each spread. The maximum risk is about $4, is about $410. So that's the maximum I could lose. So going into it, at least for today, I definitely will make money right out of the bat. The maximum return is 590, and that's basically if it stays above this 1750. Hopefully it will, because I do expect that the results probably will be good on this. The maximum break even at expiry is 1691. So if it stays at $17 and above, we'll be making profit there. Here is basically here's how I got into the contract, and I will probably cover this a little bit later on a little video that I'll probably put out for everybody, showing you kind of how I did it. But basically what I did is I bought 10 contracts of the 26 February 1650 put. That cost me basically $74 per put, or $710. Then I simultaneously sold the higher put, that's the 1750 put, on the 20 for the 26, for a price of $1.33 each, or $13.30. That gives me a total net of $590. Now, as long as the stock closes above that amount on the 26th there, if it closes above that 1690, then I keep all the money. If it goes lower, I'm going to be giving back. But the maximum I can give back on this one is $410. So just by doing the trade, I will receive about $110 basically guaranteed on this. But hopefully it will move higher, and I will gain on this. So we'll see how it comes up. I'll try to fill this out with more information going forward. Going forward. So basically what I'll do is I'll cover this on the free action trade alerts, and you can subscribe to those very easily by going to DallasTradingFloor.com. And also, if you're watching on TikTok, this is available on YouTube, and the YouTube address for this is youtube.com/DallasTradingFloor. Now, if you'd like to see the video after this live, super easy to do. Just go to my profile, hit the link, and you'll be taken directly to the beacons page, where you can sign up for the action trade alerts. So thanks for that. Let's get into some of the questions. I'm going to go ahead. Well, I'm doing a little better today than I did yesterday with the with the charts and everything. So hopefully we could get it all going and smoothly this time. So thank you for holding on. Hey, all right. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thoughts on Apple? Is it time to short Apple? Good question. Good question. Let's take a look at Apple. Of course, the symbol is AAPL, and I'm going to go ahead and see here. Oh, there we go. All right. Okay. Let's go to the Apple chart. All right. And right over to there. Okay. So here is the Apple chart. As it's moved decisively below, as you can see, decisively below the 40-day line, and that's critical Oops, that is critical. So, but it seems like it's trying to hold on. Now, will it move lower? Well, it's got a relative strength of 64. So that is not what we want to see, definitely, for this. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit on that to kind of give you a better look-see on that. Okay, there we go. Okay, see, it's kind of, yeah, there we go. There we go. Okay, so it's sort of just fallen off the cliff, and unfortunately, it just can't seem to hold on to, yeah, there we go. So there's a little bit of a bandwidth constraint, so sorry, it's taking, yeah, there we go. It's taking a little bit of time. There we go. I think we can see it now better. This is the chart of Apple, and basically, we've been on this. We've been on this this movement down, and it's just it's not the kind of thing you want to see. So the question is, can we short it yet? Well, I don't think it's necessarily time to short it yet because I still think that this could recover and grab you. So here's what I would do. I would kind of this is not a head and shoulders pattern. This may turn into a head and shoulders pattern. This is because we have the left shoulder here. There we go, and we have the right. Oop, goodness gracious. There we go, and we have the head. There we go. There's the head, and we are the left shoulder should come in below that. And what'll happen though is what'll happen is it'll pull below the 40-day line, but what it'll try to do is it'll try to come back one or two times. Now, the ideal place if you're going to short this one, if you're going to short Apple, and Apple might be a very good short actually, is it must come back to the 50-day line. It must go down and then up and then come back down, and then the third time is where you short it. So we're not ready really to short it yet, but you should watch that. You should put this one on the list for a potential short because it looks like it may be setting up. It may be setting up for a short. So watch list for potential short. Not now. And that's very important because if it needs to have this is the right it needs to form the right shoulder. This is the hardest one. The right shoulder is always lower, but typically what will happen is that the right shoulder will form around the 50-day line. So it's got to come back, reverse, pull above it, come back, reverse, pull above it. And usually if it makes two attempts on it, the third one is where you short it, basically. That's the third one is where you short it. So that's a very perceptive comment. But I wouldn't short it right now. Not ready, not the time to short it right now. But that's an excellent comment and very interesting. Okay. You're the man. Stopped out all right, but kept most of my gains. Oh, good. Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for that. I always like it when, I love it when people, do well. That really gives me a good feeling when that, something that I've said maybe has helped somebody and not hurt them because there's, so congratulations, for keeping your gain on Riot. Let's take a look at Riot. RIOT. All right, let's take a look. Riot kept most of my gains, but because of your advice to move the stop on tighter every time, it has fallen considerably. Well, yeah, okay, that's what happens, unfortunately. But this is how it's sort of like I'm sort of glad that you were able to keep your gains there. Okay, there we go. It was Riot blockchain. So I'm going to show you the chart here. Hopefully it won't it won't move, when I pull it over here. But this is the chart for Riot blockchain. I have it zoomed out a little bit. You see, it zoomed way up, and then boom, it zoom way down. Um, you know, and I'm glad you held on to it. When you ever see this is what they call a climax top. So this is a very this is a very big deal when you see these CLIMAX top, spelled right. There we go. Um, this is a classic climax top, and what happens here is that the overhead supply runs out, and that's why it moves up so quickly. Now, what pushes the stock up is obviously people bidding it up, but basically what pushes the stock up is people unwilling to sell, and that was the case here. People just were unwilling to sell. It pushed it way up. There was a short squeeze, and you're off to the races. Whenever you're in a situation like this is going to be a great profit opportunity. But the thing is, what you've got to do in this, what you've got to do is you've got to protect your profit on the way up. And the way you do that, it's basically what you do is you set your stops, basically one after the other. So initially when you buy it, you're going to set your stop here, and then as it moves up, you want to protect that profit by editing that stop loss and just pushing it up again. Don't use the trailing stop loss on this, and the reason is because the trailing stop loss recalibrates every day. So let's say, for instance, it opens up way lower. Well, you don't want to recalibrate it and lose another 7 or 8%. If you have a hard stop loss on it, it will sell it out immediately, and you hopefully will retain most of your profits. But congratulations, you see, and then it gets up to the top here, and then oops, the next day it opens up. Wow, okay. Well, because you have a stop loss in here, it immediately sells you out, and you're good to go. So, congrats, congrats on that excellent move on your stop loss and on Riot. So, congratulations on that. That's a great deal. All right, so Jim is not coming live today. Stream set. Oh, hey, Siad. Sorry about that. No, I am. I actually put in 2 lives. Oh, goodness. We are live today. Thank you very, very much for that. I am live. I probably shouldn't have put up. I edited that. I put it live twice, so maybe I should change that. But I am definitely live, and I appreciate you being such a faithful viewer. I really appreciate that. Okay, let's look at PayPal. Let's look at PayPal. PAYPL. Okay, so PYPL is the symbol, of course, for PayPal. And of course, if I don't fat figure it, there we go. And PayPal, we'll pull that up. There we go, PayPal Holdings. And let's kind of look in on PayPal and see kind of what we can see for PayPal. We definitely have, on this relative strength line, it is moving down. So we definitely have a little bit of a short-term movement down here. Let's see if we can kind of look at some of the shorter term action on it. Oops, does that get it? Yeah. All right. Here's sort of some of the daily action on it. This is a 60-minute chart. We have it seems like just recently it has moved up stronger in terms of there's been some buying. So the question is that enough to change its direction? What's happened, of course, here is that we have gone down to the 10-day line, and we've tested the 10-day line there, and that's really what's happening. This is a bounce off of 10-day line. This is a good sign. This is a very bullish sign. It looks, with this, it does look like it's potentially likely to go higher. So let's kind of zoom in there a little bit, and then hopefully that'll work. There we go. I'm getting better with this. Manipulation of the charts. Oh goodness, there we go. All right, okay. So just to kind of see it, here's the thing: when you're looking at how I think this is holding up well, because if you look here, and this is the volume, you're looking and the volume seems to be decreasing, but the fact is the price is decreasing too. So this is not that much conviction. So I'm still pretty bullish on this. It looks like this is going to bounce off of this 10-day line based on the volume here. Now, just a quick look in kind of in chart reading 101. The volume actually, I've concentrated here on the price, but the volume is actually at least as important as the price because it shows the conviction in the prices. If you see declining volume, and that's definitely what we have, especially if it's and a downward price movement, that doesn't necessarily, that's not, that means that there are people selling at lower prices, but fewer of them. So that but what you have to watch out for, of course, is if you have a decline and then you see one of these selling bars way up there. If that happens, if it's down and then this one is up at the same time, that's a major sell signal. But I don't see that here with PayPal. It looks pretty strong still. So let's look at the checklist. The checklist, the O'Neill checklist, and this is one I typically like to use, is 100%. Doesn't get much better than that. Some of the financials have been doing quite well. And I think that, you know, there was an alert put out on Wells Fargo that that was looking pretty good. So this is looking pretty good. Now, is this a good time to buy it? Well, you know, it actually, buying reversals can be a very good thing. Now, it's a little bit more difficult to do it. I would wait on this one, but if this thing reverses higher and moves above, and I'm just going to put kind of a line here, if it moves above this level right here, then I think you could buy it again. But right now, if you're looking for an entry place in it, this is a watch list, and we're waiting for it to go higher. So, you know, that's really, you know, that's really the situation. It's you know, it's a watch list. Um, it's a watch list for right now. So that's really kind of what you've got to what you've got to do with PayPal. But thank you for that question. It's an excellent stock, and I do think, you know, it's a leader, and I think it's going to continue to be a leader out there. So you know, thank you very much for that comment. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the people that have just joined from TikTok, and thanks for taking a look at me on TikTok. Okay, here we go. Can you please look at SHIP? Okay, let's take a look at SHIP. This is a question from a viewer on TikTok. So let's go and look at SHIP really quickly and see kind of what's happening there. So okay, and it's there. We go. A little bit of bandwidth constraint here. I keep saying that because I'm actually broadcasting from my home and not the office, so I don't have the excellent, you know, high speed fiber that I have at my office. My home is a little is in an older section of town, so it doesn't have as many good things going on. Now, if you want to take a look at SHIP, super easy to do. I'm showing the chart right now, and you can just jump over to youtube.com/Dallas Trading Forward. So let's look at this. And oops, okay, there we go. This is this is a bulk carrier. Here's the thing about this. This is a very cheap stock. It's $1.50. It has been trending higher, and the relative strength is pretty good. But the problem with this area, this industry, of course, is it's dominated by many large companies, and it's very hard to make money in this business because it's such a competitive business. That said, I mean, you might be able to double your money, but looking at this, I just wouldn't. If I wasn't in this stock, I wouldn't be rushing to get into it. It's got a very poor checklist. It's only 33%, so basically, it's really, by that alone, I would eliminate I would eliminate it. Let's look. There's only 2 funds that use this, and by the way, in order to most stocks increase in value, not because of retail investors. I wish that were the case. It's really because of institutional investors. And right now, there's only 2 funds in this, so this, you know, this just isn't looking good. Let's see what the funds are. I kind of want to see if I can even see any funds. Wow, it's not even showing that. So, you know, this one is just I think you need to avoid it. I really believe that. You know, that you need to avoid you know, avoid this one. That's really all I can all I can say. Just really avoid it because this is not a good chart, and I don't think it's going to get any better. So I'm going to take a look at the weekly chart, but normally, yeah, okay, it's come back a lot, but and there has been a lot of action, but this is a telltale sign. This it pulled up very heavily and then pulled back. So avoid this one, and I just don't think this is gonna be that good for you. So I'd avoid this one right now. I think that it's going to give you it's going to give you issues. It's going to give you issues. Let's take a look at another question up here. Thanks for waiting. Oh, right. Interesting. Thanks, Jim. On DNMR. Let's look at DNMR. DNMR. See, looking on that one. Daimler Scientific, manufactures Canadian oil. That's interesting. Wow. I don't have. I've never heard of this. I've never heard of this company. But it looks like it's been around for a while. No, this is the weekly chart. Okay, so this is an IPO. It's just been straight up. Wow, look at that. Boy, I can't really give you a good opinion on this one. Let's kind of look at the checklist to see. Yeah, it's only a 55 checklist. Okay. Ownership. It does have some funds in it. That's interesting. Very interesting. Let's look at the sector. Not bad. 21 out of 197. So that's actually pretty good. It's in the plastics area. Isn't that interesting? Okay, so okay, so renewable and sustainable from plastics from canola. Okay, well, yeah, this one might be a rotation play. This is actually better than I thought. It's I wouldn't buy it right now. It's just too spiky for me. But definitely I would watch this one. You might want to watch this one. Um, for potential. So right. So basically, I would say watch this one now. Wait for a pullback, and this one might work out, but at least for right now, I think it's a little bit speculative. It's a little bit speculative. Let's look at TIGR. Got some very interesting ones. You come up with some very good ones. All right. Okay, this is Up FinTech, Chinese company okay. Chinese companies are harder, of course, to play. This one actually is more real. It's got a consolidation at 760, and it looks as if it's got a decent checklist. Wow. Okay. Okay. And it's got 18 funds in it. Not a lot, but definitely more than five. So that's good. 37. So that's not bad. So yeah, this is potentially viable. Here's the thing. I would be careful buying this one at this level. It looks like it's just crawling right up the 21 day exponential. Let me see if I can get any look at it. Yeah, okay. So this is the monthly chart here. Wow, it looks like it's viable. This is fascinating. It looks like it may be viable above that line. So $26. It's a little bit extended. Wait for this to pull back, but I think you might have a winner here based on this. Very interesting. Let's pull it to the daily chart to see. Okay, 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 okay. Well, it's pulled back to the 21-day line. Look for the reversal at $30. So it looks like, yeah, okay. So it looks as if, yeah. Here's what I would do. Here's what I would do on that one. I think this is viable. Actually, I really do. It's a little bit risky. It's a little bit risky on this one, but what I would be looking to do on this is set a buy stop limit. Basically, order for about, I'm going to say about, let's see where this is, about, yeah, about 32. For about 32 and then 10 cents. So 32. All right. So here's how I would handle this one. I do think this is buyable, by the way. So this one is TIGR. Set a buy stop limit order. So as it comes above 32, and I think that's a key level here, because that seems to be some consolidation. Because it looks like it is gonna reverse off the 10-day line here. So what I would do is set the buy stop limit order for about 32 plus 10 cents, or about 32.10. That's going to be right in here, so that if it moves higher, then it potentially will bounce off this, because it does look, based on the volume chart, that looks like kind of the situation here. So this is how I would handle this is how I potentially handle the uh, this chart. So let me just zoom in a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I'm getting better at this. There we go. All right. So as it moves up higher, it looks like it's going to bounce off of this line. You want to buy it as it moves higher, as it moves about above there. Currently, it's at about 31, but you want to set your buy stop limit order about 32 plus 10 cents. So as it moves up, as it moves higher, because I do believe it's going to bounce off this 10-day line, then I think you might have a very good buy. So very interesting. I didn't know that stock. I'm going to put that down in my list to possibly watch this one. TIGR. So great. Thank you. All right. Let's take a look at the next question. And all right. Let's look at okay. Great question, and this is a question on the SQQQ. When is it going to be time to buy the SQQQ? Well, as you know, when there's a reversal, when there's a change in the market, that's when you want to get that's when you want to be interested in possibly looking at the SQQQ. So let's take a look at the chart for the SQQ and see if that makes any sense. So I'm going to go over, and SQQQ, of course, is the chart. Okay, there we go. Let me bring that to the daily. Now, what the SQQQ is it's an ETF that basically shorts the QQQ, which is the Nasdaq 100. So when the market is starting to change and reverse, that's when you want to consider the SQQQ. So let me show you the chart on this one. Here. As you can see, we've been in a confirmed uptrend, so it makes sense that the SQQ, of course, was moving downward. Now, if we're going to see a correction in the market, and we're not there yet, if we're going to see a correction market, we're going to start to see it. There's been some uptick in the volume, which is good. So this is showing that we are starting to potentially, and we're not there yet, we're potentially starting to see a reversal. We don't want to buy it yet because it needs to reverse above this green 21-day line. So let me see if I can zoom in on this to kind of show a possible entry point for the SQQQ. So let me go zoom in a little bit. Okay, there we go. I'm getting better at this. All right. As you can see, now this is kind of hard. This is kind of hard to see. Let's move it up a little. Yeah, there we go. All right, let me see if I can move in just a little bit more so we can kind of see that. I'm on the daily chart, by the way. There we go. About 175%. Okay, so I'm on the daily chart. As you can see, we're starting to move. We're starting to move well. Let's pull that up. There we go. We're starting to move well, and we've come and we've moved up above the 10-day line. Now, the SQQQ is like looking in the mirror, because it's like a reverse of normally what you would be looking for. Normally, what you would be looking for is, it to be the 10-day line to be here, the 21-day, and then the 50. With the SQQQ, this is a perfect alignment because it's exactly the opposite. Because remember, this goes against the market. So where do we want to buy this thing? As you can see, it's made breakout attempts at the 21-day line. Now, if it pulls above this, that means that is a potentially very, very strong place to buy it. So let's take a look to see if I can get. It's not showing me. Okay, so I do believe that where you want to buy it is right about at this level. Okay, above the 21-day line. Yeah. All right. Well, I can't get that back. So what we're looking at here to do is to see where could we possibly set a buy stop limit order for the SQQQ. So I'm gonna kind of zoom back down. There we go, and see if I can get. There we go. See if I can track the price properly. All right. Yeah, I'm fiddling around. There we go. Still having a little bit of issues with. Well, I'm gonna have to estimate it. Come on. All right. So I would what I would be trying to do here is I would consider buying the SQQQ if it moves above about 1350. So basically the way you could play this one is you only want you only really want to play it on a reversal above the 21-day exponential. So the way you could do that is by using this strategy, by setting a buy stop limit order at 1350 plus 10 cents, or about 1360. There we go. There. So this take a look at the chart here. This hopefully will illustrate it. All right. So basically, what this is starting to reverse, and as it reverses above the 21-day exponential, that's where you want to buy it. So the way you do that is by setting a buy stop limit order for about 1350 plus 10 cents, or about 1360. I don't think it's time to buy. I don't think it's time to buy the SQQQ yet until it moves higher. So wait to buy SQQQ as it moves higher. So basically that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to move it as it moves higher. That's where we want to buy the SQQQ. So in order to do that, in order to do that, basically what we need to do is set a buy stop limit order for 1350 plus 10 cents, or about 1360. So as it's moving above that, that's where it will buy it, because we need to see a reversal, because as you can see, it's made several attempts. It's come up to the 21-day line and then it's retreated. So we want to make sure that it's well beyond the 21-day line, but below the 50-day line, so we get that movement. So that's why we want to do the buy stop limit order. So that's what I recommend. Don't buy it right now, because it may not be able to make that breakout yet. So Be careful on that. But that's a very good observation. We really need to see we really need to see a correction for the SQQQ to make sense. It's a little bit early for the SQQQ right now, and that's why we want to buy it as it's moving higher. All right, so let's see. Let's take a look at F-cell and C-line. F-cell has probably, I suspect, had a little bit of an issue. Let's take a look on it to see uh, if that is indeed the case. Okay, is that there? Okay, so move it. Okay. Okay, yeah. Unfortunately, this is broken down. Uh, it's broken down. This is a key level here. Uh, I did have an alert on it. It is moved below. It looks like this one. You want to be careful. So basically, if you're down more than 6-7% on this one, you want to consider selling. So um, very very important. If you are down more than 7%, sell. Uh, so this is always tough to do, but yeah, that's kind of what this is saying here. The reason I'm saying this here is because we have an increasing um, volume here, and we have a spike down. This is essentially a sell signal. Okay, this on the chart. This is a sell signal here. Yeah, this is a sell. So that's kind of what we want to do. We can always rebuy this stock, but F sell. I think you want to. I think you want to. I think you want to sell it. Here's why. Another reason. Take a look at the volume. The volume is indeed increasing, and it's increasing. These are increasing cells. You see, because these are the red little pink bars. They're going up. So what this means is that there's increasing sales. It's moving down. This thing is going to go lower probably, and it's just a good time to sell. So if you're 10% down on this thing, it's a good time to sell. It still has a relatively good checklist at 77%. And the industry is it's number one rank in the industry. But I think that there's a rotation. Maybe not a rotation, but seems like a de-risking going on out of some of the growth names into stocks that are less, that are more like Cleveland Cliffs and stuff like that. Now, I want to show you a stock that I do think it's going to, hopefully, it's going to be it's going to be moving through earnings here very quickly. But I want to show you a stock that I just did a bull put spread on, and I'll explain this a little bit more in the video. If you're on the Action Trade Alerts, I'll send you out a link on this when it gets ready to go. But basically, what this is right now the interest rates are going up. And that's the reason there is interest in Wells Fargo. So that means that the money is going to move into the more cyclical names, and these are typically things like really boring stuff like cement and fertilizer. And Cleveland Cliffs is a company that makes steel pellets. They're sort of if you're making extruded steel products, you buy these pellets from them, and then you melt them, and then you make them into other steel products. So they're a very basic industry company. They, as of late, have been doing very, very well. They have earnings basically in 7 days, and I do believe we're likely to see fairly good earnings from Cleveland Cliffs. Now, here's the kind of thing I want to check. I want to check some other things with Cleveland Cliffs before we see if we can look at this. All right, I'm gonna look at the data here. Okay, so basically, we have had We have a fair number of funds in this, 386 funds. It is increasing, but just slightly. We do have a positive cash flow, and as you can see, it's sort of rounding the bend. Now, the, when the economy starts to reopen, that's when I think that we're going to see a lot more interest in this. Now, there is kind of a a sign that I don't like seeing, and there's a lot of selling going on. There was a lot of selling going on yesterday, but it seems like it's holding right on the 40-day line. If that's the case, then I do believe it will move higher. And that's, of course, in after hours, it has definitely moved a little bit higher. So these are the kind of names that you want to start looking at. And they're the more boring names. So they're names like Wells Fargo. I like Cleveland Cliffs because they're a basic they're in the basic industry thing, industry category. Excuse me. And I think that they're going to have a lot of pricing power because things are just to the point where we're going to start to see a lot of inflation, and this is sort of the beginning of inflation. These are the beginning of an inflation plays. This is one of the relatively stronger stocks in that area. Now, I'm not saying this is going to be a rocket ship because it certainly isn't. I mean, but it does have an industry rank of 7, and so in the last few months, this has come up tremendously, signaling that there's a movement of capital into some of these kind of old line names. It does have a fairly good checklist at 77, and it does have good fund ownership. So this is the kind of thing that you want to kind of look at. Some of the not all of I mean, we've been used to buying growth stocks and they're great, but now I do think I do foresee a change in the market where we're going to go more towards earnings, more towards old line type of companies, and this is one that might make sense in that way. So I just kind of wanted to bring that forward. So let's look at the next question. That's a great question on the SQQQ, by the way. Let's look at Blank and CRISPR. I was sold out of Blank. Let's take a look at Blank. BLNK, and I did make some money on the options on this one, but I gave it all back with the price of the stock, unfortunately. So I did take a little bit of a haircut on blank charging, and blank charging has been one of my go-tos since the last summer. But it just doesn't seem to. Here's why I sold blank charging today, and I will show you why. I sold blank charging today because it has violated the 40-day line, and it looks as if it's after hours it bounced a little bit. So hopefully it'll get some support here, but this is not what I want to see. This is unfortunately, this is sort of my play was that it was going to come down to the 21-day line and then it was going to just boom right back up. Unfortunately, it continued to go down. So this isn't breaking down yet, but it is. It is an issue. It does look like it's gotten some support at the 50-day line, but right now, if you're down more than 7% in this one, I would consider selling it. I just so if you're down more than 7%, sell this one. It may hold at that 50-day line, but it also may not. So that's kind of my take on it. I just sold it today. I just sold a few hundred shares that I had today, and I had made money on it in the past, and I made money on the options, but as I say, I gave back a little bit of it on this recent downturn. So hopefully I can make that up with some of my option plays. All right, so Palantir. All right, well, let's look at Palantir. And I got sold out of Palantir too. It also violated PLTR is this symbol on Palantir. And basically what's happening is it's sort of that old scenario. I've fallen and I can't get up. I don't know if you remember that commercial. Probably not. That was a long time ago. But it was, for one of these, these emergency alert companies. Anyways, this is not a good sign for Palantir. Yeah, I thought it was going to get some support. I thought it was going to get support at the 50. No, it went below that. So, and you have this increasing amount of selling. So I do think that we're going lower, and of course the trend line is downwards. So here's the thing, you know, and it's not fun to say this because but if you're down more than 7%, sell it. I just think I think you gotta get out of this one right now because the market direction seems to be changing, and it's just you can't really it's an issue. All right, so let's see about trading options. And that was another question from Mike. Thank you very, very much. Well, here's the thing. I do have. Well, I will be putting together a this little video on this trade that I've just entered into. Hopefully, it'll work out. It's on Cleveland Cliffs. It's a bull it's a bull put spread, not a bull call spread, bull put spread. And so I'll be putting that out later. But what I do in a situation like this when I'm going into all in the cash to make money is that what I'll do is I'll look to make these spread plays, these spread option plays on earnings, and that sometimes can be a very good source of money. So I appreciate that very much. Okay, let's see. Let's take a look at TikTok to see if anybody has a question on TikTok. Okay. What's going on with Apple? Well, yeah, hey Jim. Unfortunately, Apple is, it's not looking as good as I'd like it to. Here's the main thing about Apple, and I think you got to realize this. Warren Buffett still has a large position in Apple, but he has been selling, and the stock has not been doing as well as would have liked it. Let's take a look at the chart for Apple to see, what we have going on there. And one of the things that is a little bit concerning for me about Apple right now is that we have broken through the 50-day line, and I just don't. Oops, there we go. Come on. All right, we've broken down below this 50-day line. It doesn't seem to, and we have this, unfortunately, this telltale sign with increasing volume in selling. That's not something I want to see. Now the question is, will it get support? Just don't know, but it does look like it's off its trend. It does look like the trend has changed for Apple. It seems like it is pulling back. The question is, how low will it go? Well, I don't know, but it possibly could. It could come all the way down to about 103 and find support there. I think that may be a possibility with Apple. Is that now that we have seen, we've seen this weakness. I think it could pull back as low as 103. Now I'm not saying it's going to, but I think that's definitely a case here. But right now, I think you're going to have to avoid it. It's also showing up in the relative strength. The relative strength is only 64 on Apple, so not a good time to enter a position on Apple right now. And I do think it is pulling lower, so it's one of those things that I think we have to be super duper careful on because I think it is going to go lower. I think it is going to go lower. All right. Question. This is a comment on Bitcoin. And it's at 53K today. Well, I'm not sure it's that. Well, I have to check exactly what it says. I'm going to go look at the GBTC because that's really what I have access to on this charting system. And also, I am in GBTC. I started to build a position on Monday, seeing that there was strength coming into that. It's pulled back a little bit today, but it's still big. The GBTC is still. It's still being, it's still moving in the upward direction. We did pass the, through 48, and then we've moved back out. But we're well above the 10-day line, and that is, as long as it stays above that 10-day line, I'm going to be in it. I'm just gonna ride that escalator up because it looks like it's going up. There was a fair amount of selling today, but the 2 days previously were buying days, so it may be adjusting at this I would say about this level here, which it's about 52, and that's what it's looking at. So I'm going to probably be in this for a while. It's got a 97 relative strength. It does look like it does look like it's back. It's moving back up, and I'm just going to draw some channel lines in here. And I was getting kind of busy drawing all these lines. It's finally working. But I think it looks like it's going to trend right up the 10-day line. And so I'll be holding it for a while. I may be increasing my position. It does look like, we're going to see some more. As we see uncertainty, especially with the stimulus, we're going to probably see more interest in Bitcoin. That's just the way it is. Let's look at NEO. NEO took a real dumper today. And here's the thing. If you are in NEO and you're down more than 7%, I really recommend selling. The automobile companies, it's the competition is starting to heat up in that space. I don't know if you saw it, but Tesla has lowered its prices significantly for the Model Y, and that's going to be significant. Tesla is off, NEO is off, but there's just going to be increasing competition in the space. So let's look at the NEO chart, and then after that, I want to look at the GM chart because I think that's going to be also a tell too. 99 relative strength, still excellent, but of course, this is based on the last year. So it has been selling off, but it seems to be not significantly. Now, the question is, the question for NEO, and this is very important, is can it hold? Can it hold this line right here? And I don't know if it can. So I think, if it can hold 54.34, then, then I think, we might have something. It's currently below that. It's pulled back a little bit below that. The question is, what direction does it go? If it pulls lower than that, then I think we've got to sell. But if you are down more than 7% at this point, I'm going to do this again. I'm just doing this all day today. If you're down more than 7%, I would consider selling it and then waiting because I don't think it's necessarily a bad stock or anything like that, but I think that its upward momentum has been halted. So what I mean by selling it, if it's down more than 7%, sell it. And if it's continuing to go down, and wait, and then until it reverses up, and then move back into it. The reason you do that is just to protect your profit. The whole idea here is to protect that gain. Just because you've sold a stock doesn't mean that you can't go back and buy it again. I do it all the time. I think last year I bought and sold Tesla something like 31 times. So just because you've sold it, you can immediately turn around and buy it if it's moving higher. So always buy as it is moving higher. Here's a question from Santa, like that name, Santa. If you're looking at this, I would consider not necessarily investing in Bitcoin. The reason is because each Bitcoin is very expensive. It's like $53,000. A way that you can buy a piece of a Bitcoin and have a very good safety on that is by buying what they call the GBTC, the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, or GBTC is the symbol on it. The reason I recommend it is because you can just put it in any account. You can put it in, you can put it in an IRA. You can use your regular brokerage account. You can do anything like that, and it's an easy way to buy Bitcoin. I do kind of think that you probably should have some exposure to Bitcoin because there is a lot of interest in it. PayPal is going to start accepting Bitcoin payments. You're going to see, a lot of stuff on Tesla bought a lot of PayPal so that it can get sales in Bitcoin. So, I think having exposure to Bitcoin is a good thing. The way to do it, I believe, is with the GBTC. I think it's it's an excellent way to get exposure. To get exposure to it. So, and as you can see, the GBTC just since December 20th has moved up significantly. In December 20th, when I started actually I bought it before this, but as you can see, in the last as Bitcoin has been moving up, the GBTC is moving up as well. We were up on the quarter ending September 2020, up 4%. but look at since December, it's 200%. So this next one probably coming up in March is probably going to be very strong too. So is it going to continue to go up at this pace? I don't know, but it seems like it's moving very, very nicely. So that's how I would consider owning. That's how I would consider owning Bitcoin, is through the GBTC. Well, it's almost been an hour, and thank you everyone for stopping by and taking a look at the show. If I do put out action trailers from time to time. Put out one this morning about the change in the direction of the market. And if you want to subscribe to them, they're totally free. You just subscribe to free action trade alerts by going to www.Dallas Trading Floor and then just first and last name, and you can quit anytime you like. If you're watching me on TikTok, super easy to do this. All you have to do is go to my profile, hit the link, and you'll be taken directly to the Beacons page, and you can see that you can sign up there for the action trade alerts, and we send those out when they come up. I also send out special things like trades that I'm making and lists. I'm going to be probably putting out a list of highly rated under $10 stocks that'll be available to everybody that's on the action trade alerts list. Again, if you're looking on YouTube, youtube.com/Dallas Trading Floor, and please like us. That would be great. Please like us on that. And so until tomorrow, and also subscribe, please. Subscribe. So until tomorrow, please stay safe, stay warm, and like us. Like us on YouTube. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow at 2:30. Happy trading. Oops.